Tonight, a Brownsville woman demanding an apology from the mayor. This after she was arrested for vandalizing a mural in the city.
30-year-old Rebecca Hinojosa is not admitting fault. She does say, though, the city's response was an overreach. Channel 5's Trevier Gonzalez is live in Brownsville. And Trevier, you ended up making several public information requests about this particular arrest.
Good evening, Christine. Oscar, that is correct. I ended up making a total of 3 different public information requests a little bit more than 2 weeks ago. Now, this mural itself has garnered a lot of attention since it was completed in September of last year. Some of the criticism was because it was completed by an LA-based artist who was paid $20,000 from the city with money from the Elon Musk Foundation. Now, the criticism back then was whether or not this particular artwork represented the community. But this alleged graffiti is instead opening up a completely different conversation and posing the question of whether or not this particular act really warranted this much of a police response.
I hear a knock at the door, and it's a really loud knock, really strong knock.
It's a testimony centered around these words. According to authorities, Rebecca Hinojosa is believed to have committed this crime the night of February 15th, so much so that 4 officers showed up to her home the following morning. She says only 1 officer was uniformed.
I open the door a crack, I ask who is it, and they tell me it's Brownsville PD, and I ask to see a warrant, and they push the door in, and they come into my apartment, and they put my hands behind my back, and I beg them to let me at least change, because I'm in my pajamas, and I'm barefoot, and they threaten me with, charge me with resisting arrest.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like they essentially forced themselves in.
That's how it felt, yes.
Hinojosa says she was jailed for roughly 26 hours before bonding out. But it was this post made by the mayor afterwards that garnered criticism. That statement, which mentioned Hinojosa's workplace, has since been edited. But both Hinojosa and her attorney believe it was not the right call.
To treat her as a violent criminal is just obscene, and to me seems a plain abuse of power.
The words on this mural have since been painted over. The mayor of the city of Brownsville says he will let the legal process take its course, and that was all captured on city cameras. Now, if you take a look right over there, we put in a public records request for this alleged incident, and we have it on video. Multiple cameras do show someone walking in and committing that crime before walking into a store, coming out, and later driving off. Hinojosa is not admitting fault, but as a vocal critic of SpaceX, she says whoever did commit the act was likely trying to send a message. And her own message to the mayor is that this experience with police and social media is not something that should have happened.
It was inappropriate, to publicly target a community member, a very active constituent, and he should apologize to me and drop the charge.
Now, it should be said that getting a response from the city, and specifically the mayor, was one of the first things I tried doing. However, Trey Mendez told me on February 24th that he would not be addressing the matter and instead redirected me to a Facebook statement. That will be on our website, but in short, it says that Ms. Hinojosa will have her day in court to answer for the charges and evidence presented to her.
And Trevier, one question before we let you go. You said you made 3 public requests. We saw the security footage and the arrest report. What about the 3rd one?
That one is arguably one of the most important ones. I requested body camera footage for this particular incident of whenever they entered the home. Now, we ended up getting those 2 other records, but I was told for that particular one that I did not give them enough information, which is interesting because we got the arrest report. So I have since replied to them with the arresting officers and the information that is with that report, and I'm waiting to hear back to see if we might be able to get that video at some point. Live in Brownsville, Trevier Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at 10.